San Antonio's Sports Center.
Oh, we got NBA action ties. The Knicks once again trying to close out the Pistons, leading that series 3-2, but they're in Detroit for Game 6 tonight. Tip-off set for 6:30. The Nuggets have a chance to sink Kawhi and the Clippers, home for the offseason, leading 3-2. Tip-off for that Game 6 is set for 9 in L.A. It's a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 8:30.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me this evening, whether you're listening on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be listening, I don't know, say online via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or you may be listening on our YouTube channel. That's right, we stream all of our shows live on YouTube. You can watch us. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show there. Or feel free to call in, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Love having y'all in the chat or calling in to give your opinions on things. There's a lot to take in when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs, and the playoffs have only exemplified that because we've missed it now for, what's it been, 7 straight years? And that is very, very, very disconcerting if you're a Spurs fan or even on the periphery, because you're so used to seeing the Spurs in the playoffs, not winning championships, just in the playoffs in general. They were always there. They have one of the longest playoff streaks in NBA history. So the fact that they have not been there in 7 years is concerning. And now you're watching Giannis Antetokounmpo get outed by the Indiana Pacers yesterday in the morning huddle with AJ and Rob, talking about Giannis now having to potentially consider his future. And of course, you know, San Antonio is going to come up on that.
You know what? I do have, I have the odds for the next team for Giannis, which, quite frankly, it feels like
it's going to be such a strange summer for them. And Giannis has absolutely all of the control on this. So whatever comes from this, no matter how things progress, it'll all be at Giannis's pace.
I mean, listen, Dame Lillard's hurt. Who knows? They trade for Kyle Kuzma. Remember, Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be like a big get for them. Kyle Kuzma sucks now.
Yeah, he's done.
Like, they can hardly put him on the floor. The odds for Giannis's next team, Spurs fan is going to be disappointed because I know they.
Well, I don't know, and that's worthy of discussion. Should they be disappointed, or is this a worthy chase?
I think a big three, quote unquote, big three of Wemby, Fox, and Giannis would be about as good as anybody's.
Yeah,
that will be hard to beat. But a trade for Giannis would probably drain your depth, which you don't have a lot of already.
Well, but if you have big three, you don't get depth. You only get one or the other. You can't have both.
The favorite to be Giannis's next team, the Brooklyn Nets, 3-1.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. They've got all the required things.
The next few of these are terrifying. if you're the NBA, if you're a fan of an NBA team that's not one of the teams I'm about to name. The Houston Rockets are 4-1. Terrifying.
Yeah, and the Rockets are going to be like the Spurs in the same context with Kevin Durant, too.
Yep.
I mean, it could be, I think for the Rockets, it could be an either-or thing, but Durant just seems like a better fit there, but we'll see what happens.
5-1, the third favorite to land Giannis, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, maybe it busts up their current core.
It would. It would cost them Chet, and it would cost them several number ones that they still have. The only thing that would still be there that you would recognize would be Shea. They're not going to move him, but everybody else is.
I bet they keep Jalen Williams, too, or either Jalen Williams or Chet, one of them.
It's going to cost you both if I'm Milwaukee. What are you talking about?
Milwaukee doesn't have any.
What are you talking about?
Milwaukee doesn't have leverage. What are you talking about?
Well, I do too. I got Giannis under contract for 3 years, whether he likes it or not.
All Giannis has to do is say, I want out.
I agree to some extent, but it'll cost you 2 starters.
The Orlando Magic 7-1, Golden State 8-1, Miami Heat 10-1, Blazers 12-1, Jazz 14-1, Knicks 16-1. Grizzlies 18-1, Charlotte Hornets 20-1. Giannis ain't going to Charlotte. You can throw that away. Pelicans 22-1, and then at 25-1, tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers at 25-1, the San Antonio Spurs.
And part of that is, I'm not sure those two would play well together. I think they'd be a great team, but I don't know. Just I don't think each weather's game actually melds together. I do think Giannis is a paint guy, and I do like that part of the game, but I don't know. I think part of this is, why would the Spurs chase that? They don't have to. And I think that's why it's so far down the list.
You know what the Spurs really need? Another guy who can't shoot a lick.
And he's one of those guys.
Yes, that's the thing. That's why I'm like, to me, Kevin Durant is more appealing.
And I think
even though Giannis still has more in the tank, and Giannis is probably a better player right now than Kevin Durant.
Oh, by far.
But for what the Spurs need,
ain't that
Kevin Durant is a better option.
And I don't, need what you need and what you want, 2 different things. I also don't think if Giannis is going to move, I think it'll be to the coast. I think it'll be a media market. I don't see as appealing as Oklahoma City might feel. Moving from Milwaukee to Oklahoma City, I think the NBA would prefer him to be in Brooklyn. Of
course they would. But Giannis also, I think Giannis's biggest frustration with Milwaukee is, which is wild because they've already won a ring, is that he doesn't feel like they're a contender. You know what I mean? Like,
And I think Brooklyn would have to make assurances that not only if we are going to make this kind of deal, we're making other deals too to make sure that you're in a situation to go win. It just feels like a coastal landing spot. It just feels more appropriate. Whether it does end up in, it won't be Lakerland or won't be anywhere in LA, but Utah wouldn't be that surprising. They have a bunch of picks too. Danny Ainge has been known to manufacture some stuff. That's not quite the same kind of market size, though, that I thought he would move to. It's going to be at his pace. He'll land where he wants to land, but I don't think he's just going to rip on Milwaukee yet. I think he's going to give him a chance to do something before he forces his way out.
I think that he's already.
You think he already gave him that chance and that was it? And the Dame thing, there's no allegiance because they did try. They did get Dame, and now the dude's hurt. They're not going to say wait for a year.
Here's where the Bucks are right now. The Bucks have no good young players
and no number ones for like 4 years.
They have no draft capital. They are on the second apron of the
luxury tax.
And the 2 best players besides Giannis, and not counting Lillard, obviously, Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, are free agents.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Brook Lopez isn't going anywhere. Portis is probably going to be a commodity.
How much longer is Brook Lopez going to play basketball?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Nobody's going to pay him more than Milwaukee will. Portis probably hit the road. He's probably done.
Of the 2 highest paid players under contract besides Giannis, one of them's going to miss all next season and be 36 when he comes back.
Oh, I think Dame's done.
And the other one is Kyle Kuzma, and he sucks at basketball now. So I don't understand what their path is to getting better.
It involves Giannis. It's just a matter of how long do you want to wait to do it.
No, what their only path to getting better is trading away Giannis.
That's what I'm saying. But how long do you want to wait to make that deal? Do you give it another year? Because with every passing year, his contract looks better and better to everybody else.
Yeah.
Or do you rip cord now, which kind of feels like that's the only way they can go. But if everybody else knows that's the only way to go, they're going to drive deals that you might not be willing to put up with right now. So I think you can godfather him. But I also am not going to put to bed the fact that Milwaukee doesn't find a way to keep him.
The problem is, if you're Milwaukee, you'd love to, first of all, you'd love to keep him because he's just signed a deal and you're going to have to eat bleep to get rid of him.
And we talked about it. These generational guys are that for a reason. You're not that the comeback isn't going to come. It's not immediate. You're going to go through purgatory for a while.
Yeah, you are going to go through purgatory for a while, which is why they have to do what Nico Harrison and the Mavericks didn't do, which is let everyone know that Giannis is available. And Giannis doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to leave that organization in a bad spot. So thinking that you're going to be able to pull a De'Aaron Fox and offer next to nothing to get him doesn't seem like the most ideal situation. I think personally it's going to be open bidding across the NBA. Come up with your best packages. And Giannis is going to probably give them a handful of teams that he will say yes to, but allow Milwaukee to use those other teams to get maximum value for him. Because let's face it, last time Milwaukee had a player like this was probably Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wasn't Vin Baker, wasn't Glenn Big Dog Robinson, it wasn't Michael Redd. Last time they had someone that was this much of a superstar was Kareem. And it's taken them this long to get another one. They need to be put in a situation to where they can still find a way from the bottom instead of being at the bottom for a long time. And that's one of these things the NBA has to get a hold of, is players forcing their way into markets they want. So Giannis seems like a good dude, and he seems like he's going to do right by Milwaukee if he truly does want out. Now, he has to want out. Otherwise, Milwaukee's not going to move him. There's just no reason for him to. So there's step one of the process that has to happen. Step two is you have to bid against a bunch of teams, and a bunch of teams with capital. We mentioned Brooklyn. Brooklyn's got a ton of capital. The Houston Rockets have all the draft assets that the Spurs do. Oh, and they have more young talent they can offer. Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepherd. So to think that you're going to be able to hold on to Castle, Fox, and Wemby and just offer up like Vassell and Keldon and some picks and make a deal work, that's not going to happen. You'll likely have to include a Stephon Castle in any deal that brings him in. Plus, you got to make the money work, so you got to send out Devin and Keldon. And then, oh, by the way, you've just matched Giannis's salary. So how do you fill in the rest of the roster around him? Because the Spurs aren't notorious for spending way over the luxury tax. Because that's the problem with teams like Brooklyn and Phoenix that have tried to big three it and failed. The Lakers, you get your massive stars on those big contracts, and don't forget, you got to pay De'Aaron Fox this offseason one of those massive contracts. And then you have nothing but G League guys surrounding them because that's all you can afford anymore. Right now, the San Antonio Spurs going into this offseason only have $14.1 million in available salary cap space. That's like the mid-level exception. It's not like you're bringing in a huge name this offseason to add to this roster. So if you bring in a Giannis Antetokounmpo, you limit that even more. So what do you want, Spurs fans? Do you want the big shiny toy, or do you want to add shooters, bigs, a Brooke Lopez or a Nazir Reed or something like that can truly impact this team and the pieces that are already around it? Or do you want to systematically destroy what they've built? Because the Rockets are going to go through a similar thing this offseason. Look at what Oklahoma City did last year. Same team. They didn't get it done after having the second best record in the Western Conference. All they did was trade for Alex Caruso, a 3-and-D wing, and add Isaiah Hartenstein, a defender in the post. And they're the number one team in the NBA this year. They let it ride with their stars instead of blowing it up to bring in a big name. Are the Rockets patient enough after having the second best record in the Western Conference this year, or are Tillman Fertitta and that team going to star chase and possibly blow up this young nucleus? Because the other thing you do, if you supplement like Castle for Giannis, if you're the Spurs, you change the window. You change that window from having a bunch of guys under 25 to having someone who's 30 plus, which shortens the window of that big three. What do you want to do to get back into contention? And are you willing to let the Spurs play out their we don't skip steps process? That's really, really the question of every NBA team going into this offseason. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, man, it's going to be one amazing NBA offseason, and we have to keep our eyes open this entire time because it's going to get wild. Coming up next, the Lakers' downfall and what's next for them. We'll talk about it right here on Extra Innings with Pledge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-750-2525. That's 800-750-2525. Again, that's 800-750-2525.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Oh, hi. Welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Isn't this the parking lot of my daughter's ballet class?
It sure is, but I see you're on IKEA.com ordering some spring items.
Yeah, I'm hosting a barbecue this week. I completely forgot and need everything.
With delivery or pickup options, we've got what you need to conveniently order IKEA literally anywhere.
Convenient. Wait, where are you going?
The next car over just placed an IKEA order too. Busy morning.
You're amazing.
Get IKEA whenever, wherever, however you want. Order from IKEA online and get affordable delivery or choose from thousands of pickup locations.
Cinco de Mayo is near, and the celebration starts at Total Wine & More, your cocktail central. Whether you're shaking up fresh margaritas, sipping on a crisp cerveza, or savoring a smooth tequila, Total Wine is your fiesta celebration destination. So stop by your local Total Wine & More and make this Cinco de Mayo the best one yet. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-750-4198. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-750-4198. 800-750-4198. 800-750-4198.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. At I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Of course, you can follow us on YouTube. Watch the show there at SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Really helps us out. Helps me out. Appreciate it. Oh, man. A lot of people taking a lot of joy in what happened last night as the Minnesota Timberwolves, the 6th seed in the NBA in the Western Conference, upset the 3rd-seeded Los Angeles Lakers. And earlier today, man, Jason and Joe, there's a lot to break down when it comes to the downfall of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Golden State just was a little arrogant last night, I will say, because it's like, we can lose this game, no problem. We'll take it back to San Fran and we'll win there.
You know what? I appreciated what Steve Kerr did, and you call it arrogance. I thought it was smart. Why have your starters in there that late? You're not going to win that game. You know you're not going to win that game. We have an older team. We have to conserve energy. You know, complete opposite of what we saw from J.J. Redick when he didn't sub out anybody in the second half of the last game. He was trying to win that game like nobody's business. He wasn't going to give one away, but that might have cost them just because you could tell that the fourth quarter of every one of those games, the Lakers didn't have enough in their gas tank to finish strong. And J.J. Redick, and I was a fan of J.J. Redick when he was on ESPN. I feel like I learned a lot of basketball listening to J.J. Redick. But at some point, dude, you can't always sound like you're the smartest guy in the room, and you can't question him. This was J.J. Redick before the game in the pregame press conference when questioned not having a sub in the second half of the previous game.
As you watch the film, what do you recall about your thought process in the moment, sticking with the 5 you stuck with in the fourth quarter the other day? And is there an assistant or someone maybe that you'll lean on tonight, maybe to try to get, some other guys involved if that opportunity presents itself?
Are you saying that because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made? You think I don't talk to my assistants about substitutions every single timeout?
No, I just think there's a lot of coaches lean on their assistants in those situations.
As do I, every single time. That's a weird assumption.
It's not a weird assumption because you are inexperienced, and it showed big time in the playoffs. It showed big time. J.J. Redick is probably going to be a great coach, but in this playoffs, it showed big time. His inexperience.
And he got up and left.
Yeah.
Now, the game ends, and really, at this point in his career, it's always going to be, LeBron, how much longer are you going to do this?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Something I sit down with my family, my wife, and my support group, and kind of just talk through it and see what happens, and then just have a conversation with myself on how long I want to continue to play. I don't know the answer to that right now, to be honest. So we'll see.
Look, LeBron had a pretty good season. I mean, for a 40-year-old man, he can still play. I don't think there's any question about that. But when does that turn? And when does that start to go downhill? And how many more years do you push that? And I'll say the same thing I said about Tiger Woods or anybody else that has been great, and they get older, long in the tooth, and it starts to go away. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see LeBron suck. I really don't. And I think that's coming. I really do. As great as he is, as in shape as he keeps himself, I think that process is starting to show.
Well, and he still plays at such a high level, and he respects the game enough to where you see him passing, getting teammates involved. And again, you're right. At some point, it will be a very diminished LeBron James, but he still can play at a high level, but he needs the proper team around him. Now, there is an interesting answer, and you think about his time with the Lakers. Yes, they won a title in the bubble, but he's got a championship as a Laker, right?
Yeah.
He won an in-season one, too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you look at didn't make the playoffs, won a title, first-round exit. I believe they did get to the Western Conference Finals once and the NBA Finals once, where they've been out in the first round or not made the playoffs. So, I mean, you think about his time with the Lakers. Now, J.J. Redick kind of feels like a hand-picked coach by LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he was asked last night about getting a center for this team and what it's been like since Anthony Davis was traded, playing without that player. Listen carefully to how LeBron didn't but did answer the question.
No comment. I'll never say that because my guy AD said what he needed, and then he was gone the following week. So I got no comment. I put that uniform on every night. I gave everything I had, and that's all that matters.
What?
Yeah.
How do you
what
take
is
that?
he afraid of?
Well, I mean, look, AD said, and AD did. Well, trade deadline's coming up, man. I hope we get a center so I can go back to playing my kind of game. And all of a sudden, he's traded. Is he saying that he would rather have AD than Luka? Or is he saying, I ain't saying anything because I like it in LA. I don't want to get traded, but if I speak the truth to you guys, they'll ship my ass out.
Well, I tell you what, the Lakers need something. And they've got a 7-footer sitting on the bench that never saw the floor. And I mean, does that guy suck, or is he horrible? Wouldn't it at least have been something to put him in to clog up the middle, if nothing else? And it never happened. And Minnesota's big. I mean, they're a long team, especially with Rudy Gobert back there. But look, the Lakers need some help. And I keep hearing about this Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves. And the regular season, yeah, they can play. But I tell you what, they didn't play a lick in the postseason. And I know everybody's going to flash up numbers to me, but Austin Reeves was terrible last night. He was awful. Hachimura he hit some shots, but they need some help. They need to revamp that team. And I don't know if that starts with a LeBron James or keeping him on board, or do you just say, LeBron, it's been nice. If you want to play somewhere else. We're going to build around Luka. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be available, and every team on the planet is going to go after this guy, including, by all reports, the San Antonio Spurs. So, I mean, there's going to be some guys moving around. Kevin Durant's going to be available most likely. But the Lakers need some help, and I'm here for it, and I hope they suck for 10 years.
Now, yes. you look at the Lakers, and they talked about this morning on Get Up. Superstars go to the Lakers and they stay there for life and they retire. And they were talking about Luka will retire as a Laker. The one guy that really didn't was Shaq, but they traded away Shaq. Every other superstar that made their way to LA, and that's what they do. They acquire star power. So Giannis, if you're the Lakers front office, are you pairing Luka and Giannis together? And hey, LeBron, this was fun. We got Bronny now. We're good. You got another kid coming in. We'll take care of that too. But you've got to go somewhere else. Can they make it work? But I would be shocked if LeBron left the Los Angeles Lakers and continued to play.
He's right. I would be shocked. I think he's coming back. He feels like he's going to come back. He's going to continue to play with Bronny another year, potentially, maybe actually getting some valuable NBA minutes coming off the bench, possibly for this team. This team's up against the cap. Pulling a Giannis trade seems almost impossible unless he forces his way there, because financials, players, draft picks available to them to trade. Like, they don't have any of these other assets that these other teams have in terms of, liquidity to acquire him. Now, they could do something in terms of bringing in a player like a Brook Lopez, which is something they could really use. A guy that can play defense down low and also help spread the floor. Like, these are two things that the Lakers are obviously missing. Same thing that the Spurs are missing, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this plays out this offseason. Like I said, this NBA offseason is going to be wild. It's going to be filled with fireworks, and I am here for it just to kind of see how it all unfolds. Because remember, starting in August, before the season starts, I think it was August 8th, that trade parameters on Lauri Markkanen opens back up. I'm just saying. I've been beating the Lauri train for a while. I will continue to be at it until it's dead. But it's going to be extremely, extremely important. And I think, today, JJ Redick taking shots at his postseason presser today about the team and the conditioning of said team.
Required in an off season to be in championship shape, and we have a ways to go as a roster, and certainly there are individuals that were in phenomenal shape. There's certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. That's where my mind goes immediately. Is we have to get in championship shape.
Whew. That team did look gassed, but part of that is also a little bit on JJ Redick in terms of he played these guys a lot of minutes and he shortened his bench. And it's the same thing that happens to Tom Thibodeau's teams every year. He shortens his bench. He rides them all season long. So they get to the postseason and these guys are just spent. They've got one more season with Luka. Yes, I know most players don't leave LA. Luka is not most players. He didn't want to be there in the first place. He was content in Dallas. What's it going to look like when it's all said and done? And they can't offer that super max to him to entice him to stay rather than maybe chase other pastures. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out as well. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, Rockets, man. They either lose or they win impressively in this series against the Warriors. Could it go 7? Morning Huddle was talking about it this morning. We'll discuss coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
McConaughey, how long did it take you to write that rhyme up? That's not off the top of your head.
Oh, you caught that, didn't you?
You're really taking this serious.
Yeah, no, I write these things out beforehand, and then I deliver them as if they are impromptu.
Yeah.
Tap it, putting it down. Putting it down.
Thank you, Matt McConaughey.
All right.
Good to have you again.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Exclusive sponsor of Fiesta San Antonio, Gomez Law Firm encourages you to enjoy Fiesta responsibly. For more than 50 years, attorney Joe A. Gomez has been helping victims seriously injured in car and trucking accidents. If you've been injured in a car or trucking accident, hire personal injury attorney Joe Gomez. Born and raised right here in San Antonio. Visit joegomezlaw.com or call 210-736-4040 for a free consultation. Gomez Law fights. Gomez Law cares. Viva Fiesta.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
If you're looking to up your beer game, Karbach has you covered. From Hopadillo to Crawford Bach to Ziegenbach to their best seller, the Love Street, there's something for everybody in the lineup, and you can find it anywhere. Next time you're out and about, ask your bartender to make it a Karbach.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Appreciate y'all rolling through with me tonight. Be careful out there. Some huge storms rolling through San Antonio and the surrounding areas coming up in the next hour and a half, 2 hours from now. And potentially hail involved in some of those storms. So careful out there. Keep an eye out. Check the weather. Doesn't look good. Check the radar. Warn some of the other guys in here at the office that are still here. And they were like, oh, well, I guess it's time we better go then. So be careful out there, guys. Weather's going to get nasty tonight. Now, one of the more entertaining series in this first round has been Rockets Warriors, as the Rockets have really bleeped the bed in a couple of these games, and they have smacked the Warriors in the 2 wins that they have gotten. So it's very Jekyll and Hyde-like, but it's very important for the Rockets to see if they can force this to a 7th game, get it back in Houston, and just see where the chips fall. I'm intrigued by this because more so or not, if they lose in the first round, I'm intrigued, truly intrigued, if they're going to follow Oklahoma City's example or mortgage that young talent that they've amassed and go after one of these big names this offseason. So, and I'm a Rockets fan, grew up in Houston. So part of me is like, yeah, you want to beat the Warriors is the worst possible matchup you could have gotten. Experience does matter in the postseason. 2-7. And the addition of Jimmy Butler has made that team much better than it was when they first acquired them, which is why they are now the 7th seed. So it's going to be very intriguing to kind of see how the rest of this series plays out. By the way, tomorrow you can catch that game over on our sister station, 1250 AM, 103.3 FM. They'll start at 7:30 with the pregame. But Rockets Warriors, man, looked like the Warriors just threw in the towel last night.
The Rockets get a win in Game 5 last night. Much needed win. They were down 3-1. Obviously, it was a winner-go-home situation for them. And it wasn't really a competitive game. The Warriors...
By design. That's what angered me about this.
Well, I think by halftime, like the Warriors, it's not like they didn't play their starters in the first half.
No, I get it.
But at halftime, it was a like a damn near a 20-point game, the writing was on the wall.
Well, there's always a run. And even without their starters, there was a run. They kind of got close. Now, I get it's the polar opposite from JJ Redick. Rest your stars, come back and fight another day. Rest your star and know you've got a couple of games to win. I get the idea, but it is a big nuts move just to punt a game, just to go, you know what, we're out at halftime. And I heard coming in that going into halftime, Steve Kerr talked to Draymond, and he said, how long do you want to let this go? And Draymond told Kerr, 5 minutes. Give us 5 minutes, and if we can't right the ship or at least feel better about ourselves, 5 minutes into the third, pull everybody off, and we'll live to fight another day. That's a vet move. I understand it, but you're playing with karma the moment you start tossing games for the betterment of tomorrow. That's all I'm getting at. And you gave Houston a breath of life, whether it was deserved, whether you gave it to them or they took it. They woke up today going, let's go. We hooped these boys.
But I think you can, there is something to knowing when you're beat.
I know, you're right.
Saving it for a different day.
And, we got on Redick for never pulling anybody and going for the win. So I'm not going to go the other direction on him because I do think you do think about tomorrow. But anytime you willfully go, not today. It's just, this isn't tennis. You don't get to just, punt a game and then, towel off and go back in. It's 24 hours. There's reaction. There's film. There's things that change. And I'm always of the mind, never tempt the basketball or the sports gods.
Yeah.
Never give them a reason to put you in your place. And that just kind of felt like we're so good. We'll just go on home and take care of business.
Well, but now the problem is if the Rockets want to take any film away from game one, they're taking away film on Pat Spencer and Braxton Key and guys you've never even heard of.
They made a little run on you. They got it down to 13 where Steph was looking for his ankle braces. So, I mean.
Nobody on the Warriors played more than 26 minutes. They had 14 players with double-digit minutes played.
Yeah, I checked out.
They just balanced. Everybody played, but 10, 12, 14 minutes. And
well, all this being said, let's give some credit to the Rockets who jumped out hard. Yep. I mean, they came knowing they played like a team who had nothing to lose, and they put it to bed quick.
Now, what it did do, though, is it allowed the Rockets to have some guys sitting late that probably wouldn't have otherwise been sitting late.
Be careful when you don't let a young team suddenly believe. Keep in mind, this was the second best team in the West, and don't give them any reason to think, you know what, we got these guys. And
again, I think this game was won before that decision was made. I
do. And I'm not saying that it wasn't foregone, but
on when I would play tournament or when I would coach tournament baseball on a Saturday. Now Sunday's elimination day, but Saturday, when your back's not against a wall, if your kid that you started on the mound goes out and gives up 6 runs in the first inning, you've got 2 choices. You can either burn up another pitcher, or you can just say, you know what?
Let's play through it.
We're not going to win this game. Let's save our good pitching for tomorrow when it really counts.
I think
that's the decision they made. Once the game was already kind of, okay, this ain't going to work out.
But I also know, as Steve Kerr also knew, and Draymond to some extent should have known, that there's always a run. This is the playoffs, and no matter how bad the team is, there's always a 10 to 14 point swing at some point in the game. And it's how those teams in the playoffs react to that. And that's the hurdle that young teams have to get over, expecting the run, living through the run, and overcoming the run. And no team is better at that than Golden State. And I felt like, they know there's a run. Just wait for it to happen. And if at that point you can't make it up, then you pull your guys. Not 5 minutes in when we're still getting our feet wet.
Look, I tend to agree. There's always a run, but we can't crucify JJ Redick for not resting his guys when they were getting blown out against the Timberwolves the game before, which led to them looking equally gassed late in this game, and then criticize Steve Kerr for pulling his older team, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, all well into their 30s. We can't go one side of the coin for one and the other side of the coin for the other. We got to pick a side that we're going to be on. So is it we're playing these guys too hard and not getting them enough rest and not realizing when a game's over and stealing some rest for them, or we're not letting them finish this game and try and win at all costs? Which one is it? To me, Steve Kerr did the right thing. It's an older team. He knows this team. It's got championship pedigree. Jimmy Butler's been to the finals before. There's a lot of experience on this roster. Shut it down. Keep them healthy, especially since Jimmy Butler was injured in game 2, dealing with a pelvic bruise or whatever it was, contusion that he had suffered. Steal some rest for your guys. Get them healthy. Get them fresh. And try and close this thing out at home. That seems like the smart way to go about it for a veteran head coach. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You want to be a part of the conversation? Always welcome. Or just coming along in the YouTube page at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Sam said LeBron's a great player. The GOAT? Nah, I'll take Michael, Kobe, even Kareem over him. Yeah, I mean, look, LeBron is playing the best at his age that I have ever seen. He is playing longer into his career at a consistently high level than any player I've ever seen. Doesn't make him the GOAT. Unfortunately, longevity is a part of it, but it's only a part of the equation. There has to be imminent success, long-standing success. And while he has some success, championships, he also has lots and lots of failures. And his big-time moments aren't as big as other big-time players. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Oh, man. Dallas Cowboys. What will that cornerback room look like when the season opens? Because sounds like Jerry was firing some shots in his post-draft press conference. Come on now. Could this spell the end of one Dallas Cowboy in the very near future? We'll discuss coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star. Hey guys, are you or your spouse looking to lose weight in time for summer? Head over to any Synergenics or Low T Center for prescription weight loss treatment options. If you qualify for treatment, you can get a free B12 shot when you start. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee through May 30th. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
It's playoff time in basketball, and to make games more exciting, make sure you download the Underdog app, one of the leading sports apps out there. And Underdog just became one of the best places to make picks during the playoffs with their extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one, whether your entry wins or loses. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. So download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up! Oscar!
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Follow me on X, Instagram, all that good stuff, at I am Pledger. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. Your phone calls, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger, my man. What's going on?
I just wanted to comment real quick. Let me preface by saying I am not a huge NBA fan.
Gotcha.
The comparison between J.J. Redick and the Golden State Warriors and how they handled those situations, the Lakers and the Warriors, I don't think it's an either-or situation. And the reason I say that is because everybody slammed Redick for playing his players the entire time without giving a break. But on the other end of the spectrum, they sat their players for basically the entire second half without instead of spelling them. And as was mentioned on the morning show this morning, we saw it in college playoffs. We see it in the NBA playoffs. There's going to be runs.
Sure.
Golden State was held, I forget how many minutes without scoring last night in the first half.
Yep.
And Houston made a huge run. So in the second half, there could have been a run, but they didn't even give it an opportunity by sitting their players and resting them. So I think that they went from one end of the spectrum to the other between the two coaches. One sat his players the entire time, the other one played his players the entire time.
Well, it's
I think there should be a happy.
It's also two different scenarios in terms of where they were in their series. One was trailing 2-1, about to be 3-1 in the game that they tried to keep it close in, and he ended up gassing his players going into this final game. And the other one, they're up 3-1 and end up now 3-2 with 2 more chances to close out this series. Like the context of both series are also very different, but it still remains the fact that Steve Kerr saw it best for his players to get some rest. He can rely on the championship experience of his players with the lead in the series to shut them down and keep them fresh for what he hopes is a long playoff run. He's trying to steal them rest for an older team.
And I get that. But I think when it comes to if you're going to do a coaching philosophy on whether you sit your players or whether you play them, there could be a happy medium of where you spell them and you still have that chance of getting that run and putting it away.
I understand, and there probably is a happy medium, but coaches get paid to make these decisions, and unfortunately, this is the decision that each of these coaches decided to go in. And as most cases, it is always about a happy medium. Hey, be sure to check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Jessica, what's on your mind?
Hey, CBD is good stuff, man. I'm chiefing all the time. They call me Chief because I'm smoking so much.